Onward to Hives. Aliens Hive issue 3 of 4. And as we saw last issue, and if you guys have not been keeping up, feel free to pause this video, go check out the first 2 issues, or pick up the individual floppies or collected trade, or the novelization, which is called Harvest. So do that, pause, go get them, and you're back. All right. This one, Stan, Julie, and Gill are crash landed on Hive World due to Captain Potter and the Lancet. This is art by Kelley Jones, story by Jerry Prosser, letters by Clem Robins, and colors by Les Dorscheid, I believe is how you pronounce it. Print date, April 1992. And what I like is when they crash land, they're just standing in the rain. Sunset on A6454. The daily activity cycle of the Hive reaches its peak. 2 humans and an android await the coming night. Remember when you were a kid and you looked down from an Morbius and saw all the people, how they looked like ants? It's not quite the same here. Standing and waiting for the ants the size of people. Hungry ants. Thousands of them. And right off there, just a couple of dialogue balloons and some narration sets the whole pace of the book. And then, of course, this beautiful black and white drawing here. I love these inserts from the old Dark Horse comics. So essentially, this book, this part is where they need to find, gather what they can from the escape pod, because their docking shuttle was destroyed by the Lancet, and they crash landed in an escape pod here on the Hive World. Weapon, tracker, light communicator, inhibitors. Remember, these units have an effective dampening field of approximately 3 meters in all directions. So these inhibitors, they put on their wrists, and the aliens won't be able to detect them. It essentially makes them invisible. So finally, they get a hold of the Dolomite. Jesus, Julie, what the hell happened down there? No time for explanations. We need a pickup at this location, immediately. We'll get a lander prepped and down to you. It'll take a couple of hours. What's your situation? We can't make it that long. I don't think anyone else made it off the platform. What was that, Julie? I didn't copy. I'll get back to you with our plans, Hoban. We don't have many choices. And then Stan, this part I kind of feel was really dumb on his part. He goes, we go inside. They can't see us. We can't get out of the storm and travel through the hive. We can get out of the storm and travel through the hive. We have the locator, and we'll be able to pick up X11's path out of the hive. That will lead us back to the lander XL1 found, and then we'll fly the lander back to the Dolomite. What do you think? I personally, if I have an inhibitor on my wrist, I would rather take my chances in the storm rather than trying to go into the heart of the alien hive. I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, into the hive, we would be taking an advisable risk. We'll die out here, either from the storm or when our time runs out. You're right, Stan. What do we have to lose? Our lives? And then again, the use of the vials with Ari. Ready? Yes. I still believe this is extremely inadvisable. He felt a kinship to Coleridge's Mariner, surrounded by water, all of it undrinkable. He wanted to escape into that timeless ocean. Not this time, he thinks. Not without her. So they're out of Xenozip. And I like how they use, I've never heard of Coleridge's Mariner. I looked up, it's an old school novel. I'll have to check it out. But it's saying how he smashes this last vial of Xenozip, basically saying that he's not going to go into his escape world without Julie. And we see him now ready. They have 2 hours before their inhibitors stop, which I don't understand why he put a timer on it. You'd think that this is supposed to be the distant future. That's just me. And then here, I love how these hive pieces just look like coral reef. Or I'm sure if you dug up an ant colony, it would look something akin to that. She stops breathing. She puts her hand there, and as she puts it down, she stops breathing, slipping into practiced silence. It's no worse than any other job, she thinks to herself. And I love how they're all clinging to this reef for dear life, and the alien just breathe. Shit. And of course, the ticking clock. Wow. I guess they have TikTok, right? She welcomes her friend, the darkness, and the silence here unnerves her. She takes comfort in hearing Stan's labored breathing, but prays it is not too conspicuous. She has no doubts about Gill's functioning, but Stan is another matter. A scholarly lifestyle did not give him much preparation for this. And as she's flashing the light, his sojourns away from her, away from time, leave her upset and lonely. His departure leaves a vacuum that too suddenly snaps closed. What is left for her besides the memory of his passing? An emptiness? She embraces him and says, "For luck." It flows out of the darkness. She curses the deadly silence. The creature senses something not usually found in this level of the nest, but cannot determine the source. It moves on, as do they. Now they're trying to find X11's path, but they can't. It's not picking up for whatever reason. But then they end up in this room. What is this? It appears to be a midden, a garbage dump. And then, of course, the forbidden facehugger skeleton in the foreground. I want to get a look. I found interesting things in examining ant middens. One can get a good sense about the life of the hive and what they eat. What? And he sees Max. We all know what happened to Max. No sympathy, just that cold, calculating, "I'll get his collar. We may need it." That's all he cares about. So when he slips and crashes into the midden, I'm like, whatever, get eaten, you jackass, you killed a dog. Yeah, that's how petty I am after that. But nonetheless, things happen. And an alien pops out at him. He's like, "Wait." And he realizes it's Norbert. Now this part, after everything that we've kind of had that art house style of narration, all of a sudden we see him next to Norbert. He pulls something out of himself and goes, and then we get Rambo Alien. When asked why an ant needed to be equipped with a miniaturized cold plasma laser, Mayakovsky answered, "I'd want one." From Cyberantics by Stanislaw Mayakovsky. So, I don't know. This is the part of you have to have that suspension of belief. It looks cool, but sure. And it's a beautiful piece. "I shall protect your retreat, Ms. Lish." And so they all hightail it out of the nest, leaving, of course, Norbert behind. And then right as they get out, their timers, their invincibility cloak runs out. And one of the aliens makes it on board the lander that they found. And Julie's like, "Son of a bitch!" Yeah! And the face explodes. Of course, hitting her with the acid blood. And that's kind of where we're left. They got to the lander, but the entire hive is now after them. What is to happen to our heroes? All will be concluded in issue 4. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever they can get your action figures and comics and pick up this series or the novelization, which, as I said, is called Harvest. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate it. Take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Xenomorph bell next to subscribe, that way as I get to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials. And if you enjoy what I do and you'd like to support the channel, I've left a PayPal link in the description as well. And if not, I still appreciate you watching this video. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.